So you start here. Well, it's worth mentioning that you end the second page up in 12th position. You know, so you're here. Well, not quite 12th. It's the 10th, the ninth position, really. Right. So you have your bar here in the ninth fret. You're grabbing the F natural there. Then you go one fret back to get the E, but do it with one, right? And that brings us to the next page, right? So a couple of things that make this easier is if you bring this part of your hand over the body of the guitar, right? And all you have to worry about switching is just the 1 and the 2. Because you have the E bass and then you have the third string, right? Before you, and of course a tremolo note. So you have quite a bit of things before you have to reach out 4 and 3, right? For that D, C, and then you're going to go to the same note but with the pinky, right? And it's really easy. Now, during the lesson we talked about why not using a bar here. Well, there are a lot of bars in this piece, right? So out of context, very easy. But you know, there's quite a bit of fatigue going on when you're doing so many bars across the piece. It's a lot easier to just then head to 1 and 4. Another reason why it's really important not to do a bar there is because once you do a bar, you're locking yourself into position, a little bit more difficult to lift up and take off to third position, which is what you need to do next, right? And here's where you're going to see the genius of Barrios. This is incredible fingering, right? So here you're going to use 3, very important. You're going to be tempted to use 4, but the reason why we want to use 3 is so that 4 can be ready for that A right after that, right? Lift your bar, right? So you got your C sharp and you got your A there. And those are the 2 pivotal fingers, 1 and 4, because that's what you're going to use when you get to 5th position, right? You could play the G open. It depends on your guitar, right? The guitar that you're playing right now is quite good, so it's not going to give you a G that sounds like a screamer. But if your guitar tends to be a screamer at one point, it's better to just grab that G on the 4th string at the bar. For all accounts and purposes, a little bit safer to do that with a bar. And then 3 is going to slide over 2 frets to the E. What was 4 before on the 1st string is going to be 2 now to grab the C natural. And you're going to use this 3 and 2 to move over 2 frets. So you're in karate chop position, right? In 9th position. And then you have a D bass. So now let's actually think about this. The genius of Barrios I mentioned earlier, right? So you got 1 and 4, 1 and 4, 3 and 2, move 3 and 2 over, but with the D bass first. And then 3 gives way to 4 on the B string. Move that over 2 positions. Now, be mindful of what you have here, right? You have your D, you have your A, and you have your C natural. Keep them there. Don't lift your hand there, right? Right? You want to keep this and reach out with your 3rd finger for the G, right? You could play the G open. But you're here on the 3rd string, grabbing that D. You play the G open, you have to lift that and then bring it back over, right? So you're repurposing the same string to give you a bass and to give you inside harmony. Not that great of an idea. And it's easy enough if everything else is in place. This is a difficult chord out of context. Within context, not that hard because 1, 2, and 4 are already in place. 3 just gets over on the 10th fret directly above the 2nd string, right? So this is in the 5th string, 2nd string. You got your G right there. And again, Barrios, the genius that he was, 2, 2 and 3, and then 3 takes over and back to this fifth position, right? Back to sixth position with 2 and 3, then third position, then the C sharp, right? And that really takes you through quite a bit of the material that you have in this page. You have only one more measure to traverse. And it's also worth noticing that he keeps on giving you guide fingers, right, to traverse. So you're here on the D with your second finger, just move it over to the second fret, still the second finger, and you are onto the next page of the